Hello and good morning. This is Lord Holland, and today we have another premium ship review. Now this is Issei, one of the first two hybrid ships that were put in the game. Issei and then Tone, the tier 8 Japanese cruiser, were the first two hybrids put in the game. These ships were pretty good for tier 6 ops, and they're still fairly decent. So again, she gets the standard, economic boost. I get more since I have a clan, and then I have my military contributor flag. So normally you'd get 5% credits, 55% ship XP, 65 for the commander XP, and then, 100 would be the same. Now let's look at her armor. Okay, so she gets a 26mm bow, torpedo bulge, side plating 32, 26. Her deck armor does reach, pretty decent levels. And then she gets this 26mm deck armor. Now this does not count as superstructure, so this is where it kind of sets off from the newer ones, because this is all armor plating basically, so it's different than just pure superstructure. This was superstructure, it would all burn, but it isn't. It's armor, so that's a big difference. Now for survivability wise, she gets 58,700, 26% torpedo bulge. Her aircraft are unique. They're pretty slow. So at max speed 140, okay? And then they take off with an engine boost. So they get an engine boost upon taking off, which is pretty decent. They only get 4 in a squadron with 4 torps. Now these torps have a 2.8 kilometer army distance, and they're only 35 knots with only 2,800 damage apiece, minus torpedo protection, or excluding torpedo protection. So these torpedoes, not that good. You need like 3 Isseis going in on a target together to really maximize the damage. These torpedoes are more for harassment, honestly. They're pretty good if you're wanting to take on destroyers. So keep that in mind. That usually is for viability, but your main power is in your 14-inch guns or 12-inch guns. These are Fuso guns also. So it's basically a Fuso with 2 back turrets removed and put with a flight deck. So that's what it is. Turrets, 30-second reload, 18 seconds between switch time, since I have Yamamoto. Turret traverse, it's kind of a little hard at 36 seconds. 21 kilometer range, not bad. Max dispersion to 21. HE damage max is 5,700. HE velocity is 805 with a 25% chance of fire. AP damage max is 10,200 with a 775 velocity. So not bad. Not great, but not bad. Now this is where she sets herself off compared to other battleships at tier 6. She is actually one of the most powerful in terms of AA. It is hard. An Ark Royal can still strike you, but it will sustain heavy losses. The only one she doesn't do good against is the burn, because the burn can drop out of range of the AA. So again, against other carriers, she's still pretty tanky and very resilient, because she does have pretty good, armor on her. She has pretty decent armor and not a lot of superstructure. So unlike her cousin Fuso, she's actually still pretty tanky. And the AA, don't underestimate this thing if you're a tier 6 carrier. You will lose planes. Maneuverability wise, this is where she gets painful. 25 knots with brisk, that's about 28. Turning circle 750, and rudder shift is 15 seconds with concealment module 14 kilometers. So she's not the most stealthiest. And now for modules though, you're really limited because you want to go for main auxiliary armaments 1, because you want to keep that AA intact, because that's going to keep you alive in the long run versus a CV. Of course, damage control 1, aiming systems 1, and yes, you could do steering gears because you have that 14-second rudder, but you want this air groups modification 3, which gives you a 15% to your torpedo health, torpedo plane health, 5% to the speed, and a minus 5% to preparation time. So it adds, so you can pump those things out a little bit faster. And those do come in handy, really handy. So keep that in mind. But she is a very good ship. Very good ship. She was amazing in Tier 6 Ops. She's still pretty decent. She can still hold her own in randoms and in operations. Well, let's get you into the replay and you'll see how she does. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, good evening, or wherever you're at. This is Lord Holland, your operations guru. Now, we are doing testing for Tier 6 ships. Now, as you can see, I am on probably one of the worst operations, or at least the hardest one, in an ESA. So I'm testing out the ESA today, folks. But I have a Benson, Harukaze, Nuremberg, myself, Hawk, North Carolina, and a Fobeta. All really great ships. Now, she is a hybrid. Now, there is a lot of talk, and it is really controversial because of, you know, the hybrids with the Americans coming out now. And I'd love to put some people at ease over this ship. The torpedo damage per rocket, per torpedo, it's only 3,000. These rockets don't do anything. They're mostly there to harass and kill. Now, I don't like people are hating so much on the new Delaware and Nebraska also. I don't understand why they hate them. So, I personally, do I believe they're a good thing for the game? We've had hybrids before. But I'll tell you what. When every line is released, there's about a 3-month to 6-month waiting period where they come out when they're at their strongest. Then they get, nerfed or changed or something after enough data or it's come to wargaming. Then they change them. But we get people that just constantly keep fanning the fuels of this, why hybrids aren't good now. It makes no sense, but I really want to show you how strong the ESA can be. Being bottom tier, I did not expect to make the score I did. And I'll show you how to properly use the rockets. Now see, I could have launched my planes, but I didn't. I held off because I wanted to get one more shot off so I could reload one flying my plane. Now I launched the planes already. Okay. Now these are float planes that drop 2 torpedoes each. So that's 8 torps. But they don't do the best of damage.
Engaging enemy.
Now I'm going right for the destroyers. Because I know destroyers equal more XP. And these torps will do great because they just spread out. Look at this torp spread. They kind of spread out in a weird way. But I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I get a torp hit. Okay. It's not much, but every bit of damage helps. And our Fobeta finally picks up that DD. He was going after that DD for a long time. Take some torps from Charles. Now, Harakaze did an amazing
Torpedoes
job.
to port.
This guy knew what he was doing. So, Ajax, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you did an amazing job in this op. Really amazing job. You knew what you were doing. And that really made the difference. Like I say, a great DD player that knows what he's doing can make or break an operation. Now, look at our Benson. Benson's not looking too healthy. He really isn't. And he's going down. That is unfortunate for Mr. Gunner here. Texas Gunner. And I tell the Hawk to get back because we just lost the destroyer. And the torps are coming. Everyone knows the torps are coming. So why would you push in? Alpha Beta picks up that kill. And I already know what the Harakaze is going to do. But can he pull it off? Now the great thing about the Issei and the Tone is that these torpedo bombers, you can just throw these guys away. They're not like the actual new hybrids where you gotta land your strikes. You can just keep pumping these things out and just do what you can. They do take pretty good damage though, and they will go down. So you do feel if one plane does go down, but they're just there to really harass. And look, Agonizer now. That's like 4,000 damage. It's not a huge amount with the torpedo reduction. Now Harakaze does pick up the Agonizer now, so kudos to him. Sorry, my voice was feeling a little weak today, so... But she actually has pretty good armor. Now, here's the thing that people don't know about the Issei. Her AA. Issei has amazing AA. For tier 6, anyway.
Get back!
It is probably one of the few carriers that you can act battleships that will actually stand a chance against a carrier. If it's a really competent carrier, and probably not. Any ship falls to a competent carrier. Now, Arnberg gets real lucky there. It's a really good hit. Takes out the Turpits.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Now, the Nuremberg does go down, but you can also kind of look where he was at. I think he got hit by the Hawk, and the Hawk kind of pushed him in there, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, we're into this, we're at the hill stage now, and, I mean, we're down 2 ships. Sorry. It's never a good sign on Hermes, is it? No, it isn't. Now, of course, you know, I'm going to take some torps, but as I've argued, you know, with other replays, you know, take the torps. It's not going to hurt you, especially when you're in the hill circle like this. Especially if you can take torps for the Ruan, take the torps for him. Better to have him at full health than at no health.
Engaging enemy.
Now I go back in, because I'm only aiming for DDs, because I know I can get XP off these DDs. But I drop my torps because I know we're going to have trouble with these destroyers. And I get a torp. Okay, that's 1 torp. It's not great, but it helps. Every bit of damage helps. Now, at this point, you know, I'm just trying to focus the DDs down, so we don't get torqued on the wings. Now, our Harakaze, there, I'm tired. Now, our team is kind of falling behind. I'm trying to get out ahead because I know what's coming, but I'm putting everything on these DDs. I'm trying to get these guys down, and I don't care if I land torps. I'm just trying to harass and do what I can. If I can get 1 torp is 1 torp. And I do get a torp and a flag. So I shoot the one that's like there. Okay, I knock out his engine and a turret. So now he's stuck there. He's not going to be as much of a threat. So brave. And I'm slowly turning out because the torps are coming. Yep, there's the ship turning and the torp should be launching. I think those were for beta torps also that went in there. Our beta had a lot of trouble hitting the ship this time.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
The ship is on fire.
And I just get wonky dispersion, like really wonky dispersion. But, you know, 50,000 damage, that's pretty bad for me.
Torpedoes astern.
And here's the torp. I already knew they were here, so I just turn in, or turn out of them. So it's like easy. I don't take any torps because I knew they were coming.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
I know the torp bombers are coming in. I know everything's coming in, and I'm just trying to get ahead. Because Ruin is not full of health, so that's going to be a problem. Now, I could have gone for the bigger cruisers, but, you know, I decided to go for the Nuremberg, because I can hit the Nuremberg. And I get lucky. I get a 18,000 hit. That helps me a little bit with damage.
The ship is on fire.
But you can see our battleships are finally kind of moving up. Our Harakaze has finally reached the point where he's caught back up. Now we're going to need him. can get a fire and a torp tube. Okay, so it's not bad. And then, like I said, I'm just using these torps as harassment. I'm just trying to do what I can to keep the CV alive. Make them drop their torps early. I get a good hit there. I get double torps on the other one. Harakazi picks him up. So I pick up that one with my flag, thankfully. So great.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
But I mean, you know, I'm at 100, almost closing in on 100,000 damage. Yes, I could be shooting the CV, but I know there's torps coming. I know there's torps coming. And it's kind of like at this point, I don't know if we can get that carrier down. I honestly don't think we could get that carrier down. Now I crossed 100,000. Yeah, because see, the carrier just isn't taking enough damage. So and yes, I could have helped, but I honestly knew we couldn't do it. And right there. Hermes with 4 stars. Not bad.